So this monitor is called the LG UltraGear 45 curved QHD 200 Hertz. Yeah, welcome to the review. Babe, how would you say this monitor is?
It's pretty decent. It's pretty cool. As a gamer, I wouldn't know because I don't game, but you know me. I just need a computer for standard things.
You heard it from my wife. So that was her review as a regular generic user, you know. She just looked at me when I said generic user, standard user. If you hear knocking or something, they're repairing the fence of my neighbors. Let me just run through the specs. I'll have it scrolling down the screen while I am reading. So this has a 200 refresh rate. The maximum resolution is 5120 by 1440p. The response time is 1 millisecond. This is a V8 panel. This supports FreeSync. And yeah, so FreeSync for AMD. The size is 44.5 inches. So they're technically lying in the name since they say 45 inches. So the connectors is one display port and two HDMI 2.1. Obviously this is an LG monitor. And yeah, that's all I would say. The aspect ratio is 32:9. And what else do you need to know? There is anti-glare here. I'll touch more about that later. There's a fly in this room. There's 3 USB ports in the back. And yeah, so it's 22 inches in height with the stand and 13 inches without the stand. So it's actually, wow, okay, so I was incorrect last time. So it's actually 13 inches in height, the screen. So if it was like maybe 15 or 16 inches in height, I think that would be better. About 20 pounds. So let's get into gaming. Gaming. So this monitor is about, the refresh rate is 200 FPS per second, or 200 frames per second. That's the refresh rate of this monitor. I personally do not have a GPU that's strong enough for this task, so I still have the 5700 XT, I believe. Yeah, 5700 XT, and it's yeah, I got scammed on Facebook Marketplace for the 6900 XT, so yeah, that sucked. I sold it on eBay, and yeah, it's a long story. Really quick, I hear V8 panels don't have the best response time, but I can't really tell gaming on this monitor. I'm not the heaviest gamer, as I don't game as much as I used to, but here and there, maybe in a month time, I'll put like 10 hours in gaming. It's not a lot of gaming. I used to put like 100 hours or 200 hours in a month. Man, times have changed. I'm a married man now. Can't be doing that. It feels like you have a slight advantage with this monitor because it's curved, it's wide. There is more immersion just because there's more screen. You know, it's not a flat panel, it kind of curves a little bit. I think the curve isn't too aggressive. I think the curve is actually it's really good. It's like for like just getting started, I think it's really good. If you hear my cat, Jasmine. She's one of those cats that don't like to be picked up. Look at her. Look at her. Awkward. Okay. Input lag. So the input lag, I did not really feel any input lag. It feels like, you know, like any other monitor, it feels quick. It doesn't feel like there's a delay when gaming or when you're clicking around and stuff like that. I didn't feel any lag. I did use I watch monitor reviews from time to time, and they use this certain software that they search up online that helps with ghosting. I used it, and I'll show it on screen, but I can't really tell that there isn't really that much ghosting. Very light ghosting, so I think that's good. What I love about this monitor, so basically the Type-C port on the back, you can easily plug in your laptop and, you know, get straight to work. I really love that feature. I never had a monitor that had that feature, and it's really useful if you only have a laptop and you just, you know, need to plug in your monitor. Boom, bada bang. That's it. You know, that's an easy, clean setup. I do have a desktop computer as well, so that is what it's hooked up to mainly. But when I do want to use my laptop, it's not much work to hook it up. So this is my first ultra wide monitor at 45 inches. It fits perfectly on this desk, and it really just, it's my first one, and I like it a lot. Like, I don't think I'm ever going back to a flat monitor as my primary like gaming monitor. I do have a 32-inch monitor that I use for doing eBay, but I'd much rather an ultra wide. Also, another favorite thing I like about this monitor, it's budget friendly. I paid about $640, so it's still expensive, but it's not really as expensive as the high-end Samsung and, you know, really, you know, premium ultra wides. Overall, it is a great monitor. That's another thing I like about it. It's just great all around. It's an all-arounder, and it's chef kiss. And it's also just another thing I like about it. It's really lightweight, so setting it up, I don't think it's as hard as some other monitors, just due to the how light it is for an ultra wide. The only con that I have with this monitor, honestly, is the aspect ratio. So it is very narrow. I wish it was 2 inches taller on the top end of the monitor. I believe it's 22 inches in height, so it feels like 24 inches in height. I think it would be better rounded, in my opinion. But that's basically the pros and cons for me. Go to real world scenario, everyday uses. As you heard earlier, my wife says that it's good for, you know, productivity, for whatever she does, you know, web browsing and such. For content creation, I would say that it's pretty good. It's wide, so you can have 2 tabs open and the tabs still be functional. I do believe that it's better. It's better. I would say overall it's better. The narrow thing still applies here. It being very narrow, but besides that, it's good. So day-to-day use, when you're using like light sources, like I have my light on top of the ceiling light on, and I don't really see any glare on the monitor screen. Like, I think the anti-glare is actually really good on this monitor, so I don't think you should worry about that too much. But direct sunlight, I have not tested that, so but it should probably be fine. Maybe. I'm not the best color guy. I'm not the best color guy at all. Like, I can work with on any monitor. I'm not very particular about the colors or anything like that, unless it's very horrible, obviously. But the colors look fine. They do look a tad bit muted, but I'm pretty sure you can adjust that in the setting. But I never messed with it just because it doesn't bother me that much. So yeah, the colors look fine. Brightness, I think the brightness on this monitor is actually, I think the brightness on this monitor is actually really good. I think it's a pretty high brightness monitor. Sometimes I have to turn down the brightness at night just because it's pretty bright. Also sharpness, I think sharpness is really good. This is 1440p. Some people complain at this size, like 45 inches, that 4K is the best way to go. I do agree, but there's not a lot of 4K monitors at this price range, if any. So yeah, this is, I think 1440p is perfect for this size and budget. I really do think this is one of the best, if not the best, monitor at this price range, around $650-700 bucks. Speaking about you know, how the monitor looks and stuff like that, etc. viewing angles. Viewing angles are not bad, but I think this is with the majority of Ultrawides. Looking in the center of the screen, the center of the screen is obviously going to be the best viewing angle. Looking from the sides, it's going to be deteriorate a little bit, but not too much. It's I think it's still workable. I think it's really good still, regardless. I think it's worse on like a big, like if it was a 40-inch flat panel, I think this viewing angles would be worse. So it's still better than a flat panel in my opinion. So you do notice the backlight bleed from the corners here. Here and here, some here. But it's not so bad that you see it in everyday productivity. It looks worse on the camera. Everyday use, you don't notice it. The menu that is on this monitor, I do believe it's good. I've had this is my second LG monitor, and the menus, they're clean. I think they're simple, straight to the point. I don't think it's a bad, wonky menu at all. Maybe somebody else can, disagree, but it's the best one I've used. It looks clean and it functions well. These are a couple monitors that I was looking at. I was looking at some 34-inch monitors in the beginning, but then I realized that 34 inches is a pretty small monitor, so I was like, let me not go that way. I mean, small in terms of like a curved monitor. I do own a 32-inch LG monitor. I paid about $200 for it, but I think that's a decent size when it's a flat panel. But 34 inches as a curved monitor, I think it would have been a little too small for me. So that's why I went with the 45-inch monitor. So the monitors that I was looking at to begin with was the Nexus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right, but I'll pull them on screen as well. Nexus 34-inch, the INNOC, so it's INNOCN, 40-inch flat panel. That was the closest. It was going to be either that one or this one that I bought, the LG monitor. That flat panel, I watched some reviews. It was actually really clean, and I've never seen that aspect ratio in a flat monitor before, so I was actually really interested in that one, but I ended up getting this one. So that one was 144 hertz. This one's 200. That's also why I picked this one. And so that same company also made a 45-inch curved monitor at the time of the purchase that I purchased this. That was out of stock, so that's why I didn't buy that one. It's a little cheaper. It's about 550. This is about maybe 700 or 650 if you can find it. I got this one at Best Buy, by the way. Best Buy, as it was a returned item. That's why it's a little discounted for me. And that monitor, the 45-inch that I was talking to you about, from the company NOC. So it's INNOCN. That's the company name. It's on Amazon. And that 45-inch curved monitor is about 120 hertz. And they also make another version that's 49 inches and is 144 hertz. So this LG monitor beat it in frame rate, refresh rate alone. And I was like, I think I'm going to get more value for my money with LG. So that's one of the reasons, well, the main, just comparing the monitors, and I just believe I chose the best one, which was the LG. Who do I think this monitor is for? I think it's going to be for people like me. So primarily gamers. I'm not the biggest gamer anymore, but primarily gamers, and also if you content create on the side. So I do content create as well, like as I'm doing now. So I think it does decently in editing, and I think it excels in gaming. So but anybody can buy it if they want to be a productivity, if they do productivity and also do a little bit of gaming. I think that's also good as well. I think this monitor is a solid choice for anybody that can, fork up that money, because there's always $200 monitors out there. And whoa, 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 whoa. That was a mouthful. Wow. This was my first monitor review. Obviously, I'm not good at this. But it was a lot to cram in there. It was so much to just do like 10 minutes of research and put all my thoughts together, and just talk to the screen, like talk to the camera. Yeah, I just wanted to put this video out there just to help out people that want to know more about this monitor, because when I was looking at this monitor, there was not any information about it. But it is a good monitor. I do think it's a good one. So yeah, I thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, I am pretty interactive in the comments below. I just do this to help people out on YouTube. At some point, if I make a couple bucks, hey, I don't mind it. But for now, we're the benefactor, benefiting everybody that comes to this channel. Thanks for watching. Peace.